Hello Sanity Seekers, thank you for joining me. Today I'd like to show you an idea I had about making a Halloween spellbook. A way of dispensing Halloween treats that is fun and magical. First of all, I went and found a box that I had laying around the house, and then I went and found a cardboard box that almost fit over the top, but it didn't quite, so I'm making this back on it to make sure that it doesn't slide off on me. Now it will double as a way of angling my book. However, if you have something that is flat and just fits straight over the top, you can always angle the book by just popping something under the top of it. So I'm going ahead and making a back for it, and also a lip so the book can't slide off. I have some books that were given to me that are old encyclopedias and that are useless for anything other than art now. So I went ahead and started crumpling the pages to make it look old. I also tore out chunks of pages so that it's not so bulky that I can't even lay it down flat. But again, because I want it to look old and used and well thumbed through, I continued the process and crinkled every page and tore out chunks here and there so it wasn't too thick. Those of you out there that are fantastic at scrapbooking and junk journaling will do much better than I did in this project. I am not a junk journaler, and I'm not really a scrapbooker either, so I struggle a little bit with the decorations, but the idea's here. So then, now that I've got my book crinkled, I'm going to cut out a hole that is big enough for someone to put their hand through. You may have noticed I've got the bulk of the pages on the left side, and I'm putting the hole on the right side. That is going to lay down nicely for us, and it's also easier to do. I'm just continuing to mark out where the hole is so I can continue to cut it out and create the hole that we need for the project. I'm always looking at ways of trying to make Halloween just a little bit more interactive. I find that the kids are eager to get in, get their treat and go, and are sort of missing out on having a little more fun with it than they could otherwise. And that's why I like dreaming up these ideas. So with a little bit of struggle, I'm getting the hole out of this back of this poor book, but I eventually get there. Just checking the hole is well sized, and now I'm wetting the pages so that I can put some paint and ink on the edges there so I can colour it and make it look old and used. The last thing I want is for it to look white and new. The water will help crinkle it some more, make it look more aged, and the colour just adds to it. Making sure I do inside the hole as well, and proceeding with more ink and colours. I'm mostly using reds and yellow, which is giving me reds to oranges to yellow, and that's cool. You use whatever colour you want. Purples would look great too, I think. I'm using some PVA glue to glue the edges of the pages together, just to keep everything in place. I don't feel like I need to glue every single page. I've just roughly brushed on the glue on the edges all around the book to keep everything in place, but still kind of make it fluffy and crinkly. Now I'm going to put that aside to dry while I work on the box again. I'm just going to glue this corner. I made kind of like a Z shape out of this cardboard. I'm just working with what I've got, guys. If you can find something that sits over it that's flat, it'll be much easier. But I've taped it into place, glued it so it can dry, and it works. It stops it from sliding off. It kind of hides the back a bit, and it works. It comes off and on quite fine. There's no dramas. Now we need to put a hole into the table. So we'll trace around and cut that little guy out. I'm just going to cover the exposed edges of cardboard with some painter's tape or masking tape, and then I'll paint over the top to hide it. I can do that down the edges too because there's two slits poking through. I don't, however, I glue something else over the top of it, but it's always an option just to use the tape to hide any of those obvious cardboardy exposures. Now I'm going to glue over the top of the table so that I can just sit the book on top and it won't move. I need to make sure that it lines up with the hole always and it doesn't move around as kids grab out the candy. These are the slits that I was talking about a second ago. You could put tape over it to hide them. I happen to have some decorative strips that I'd made previously out of foam, and I'm just going to stick that over the top and tape it down until it's well glued. And I've also put more glue over the top of the paper so I can glue down some other paper for texture and to hide the print. And as I said, if you are a scrapbooker, you are going to nail this part. I just did the best that I could. The paper I'm using here is mulberry paper. It's really lovely. I'm also putting some paper over the hole, not all around it, just here and there to hold it in place, and it kind of made it look more, I don't know, magical, like it was a portal. I'm using a few drops of ink just to make it look scary. I have a few of these holograph little cutout thingies that looked pretty cute. And I have a stack of stickers and things, and I just played around with the design and just did the best that I could. That's all we can do, right? I really wanted to make sure I put some moss in here because to me that is magical. I've got some tarots, some skulls, this cool little skeleton dude, and these very cool 3D metallic stickers that I've got years ago, and it's the first time I've had a chance to actually use them. They come in very handy for this project. I'm going over the top of the stickers with some paint to make them not new looking, and then just dabbing a bit off to make sure that the detail is seen. And I'm doing that here and there to bring out detail and just to make sure that nothing looks new. I also stuck in some crystals that I had, and I made sure that I aged the little skeleton guy. And I also had some little gravestones that I stuck in there and some skulls, and I just worked with what I had in my drawers. I'm bringing out the detail on my decorative pieces on the sides with some copper paint, and the black underneath will give it that depth and will also help bring out the detail. Now I'm just going to throw a cloth that I had. This is a cool, scary, Halloween-y type piece of cloth. So I can sit my pieces in there. It'll hide the newish looking box, and pop the treats in there so the kids can grab them out. Easy. And that's our Halloween spellbook. I hope you make this or something very similar. Honestly, it's an easy afternoon. It was not a big project at all. So happy Halloween everyone, and enjoy. Bye.